Hello and welcome to Who Would Win in a Fight. In today's episode, I'd like to talk about the Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin fight in September. Now, unlike a lot of other prediction videos that will do the rounds on this, I'm not going to make my prediction at the end. I'm not going to keep you guessing. I'm just going to go straight into it, and I'm going to say I think it's going to be Golovkin. I'm going to think it's going to be Golovkin by a late stoppage. Part of me thinks the stoppage might be on the brutal side of things. I certainly hope not, but I think it's going to be maybe round 10, round 11 for Golovkin. I like Alvarez. I think he's a great bit of stuff. I think he's probably more skillful than Golovkin in a lot of ways. Alvarez reminds me in some regards of Miguel Cotto. Miguel Cotto is my favourite boxer of all time. I don't hide the fact. I think he's a great bit of stuff. I think Canelo is a light middleweight version of the light welterweight version of Cotto. I think they do so many things really well at a B or B plus level. They don't do anything exceptionally well, and in some ways it played out in their fight. When it happened, it was close. Alvarez won, no doubt. But I mean, they both have a very good, competent level, and they're really good at every facet of the fight game. In some ways, I hope, for boxing's sake, that this is a really close fight. My gut instinct is that it might be close for the first 4, 5, 6 rounds, but Golovkin is going to be he's going to be too much man for Alvarez. I think his punching power is going to be the difference, and as well his ring IQ. I think Alvarez is more skillful. I think Alvarez has got a good defense. He's got a good chin, so he is more skillful. But I think ring generalship of Golovkin will be, I think, the telling factor. Alvarez, I was just thinking before I did the video that maybe the Brook fight was testing the waters with Golovkin to see not would he beat Brook, but to see how he could handle and navigate someone who I think is very similar to Alvarez in the regard in his foot movement. I think neither Brook or Alvarez are incredibly fleet of foot. They're decent, but they don't have top-notch footwork. And Brook was able to be, it was easy enough for Golovkin to navigate Brook into where he wanted him to be. And I think that's going to be the decisive issue in this fight. I think Golovkin's going to be able to navigate Alvarez eventually into the parts of the ring that he's going to want. I mean, again, I can't state it enough. I like Alvarez. I really do. I'm not a big fan of the team that are around him, but I think Alvarez will fight whoever is put in front of him. There was talk that ultimately he wouldn't take the Israel Aralandi fight, that it was too much of a risk, but he took it. And people think it was controversial. I don't think so. I think he won. It was a close decision, but I think he won. And the one drawback from his performance was that he wasn't really able to cut the ring off. Now, in fairness, not many people are against Landy, but he followed him around the ring instead of just cutting the space down. And it's going to work the opposite way. I don't think he's going to be able to get out of the way of Golovkin when it comes to crunch time. My biggest hope for the fight is that it's a barn burner. I actually don't know who I'm leaning towards, who I would like to win the fight. I think the best result for boxing is that Golovkin wins a very close but totally uncontroversial decision, that Alvarez puts up a really good performance, because if Golovkin wins easy enough, they're going to say, oh, he's only fighting a pumped up light middleweight. And if Alvarez wins, they're going to say that, if Alvarez wins easy enough, which I don't think he will, they're going to say, they're going to cast aspersions on Golovkin's resume, the old questions will resurface. Well, who was he really fought? It's the usual nonsense that goes on with a lot of, you know, a lot of fans. Not necessarily that I think in the end the die-hard fans know what's what, and they'll be able to pick apart what's true and what's not. But I hope it's going to be a barn burner. I hope it's really close. I hope it's blood and guts. I hope they show all facets of their game, and I think more importantly that there's no controversy left. Now, again, if it's a good fight, it'll hopefully lead to a rematch, which we'd all like to see on the back of a good fight. But I just think when it comes down to it, I think Golovkin's going to be too much man. One issue with Alvarez that isn't really addressed too much is, and I think it's going to be the limiting factor on his career, is for a guy who can comfortably make the middleweight weight limit, he's not that tall, so Golovkin's going to have height in him. And Alvarez's build, he's quite stocky. So whereas he might weigh the same, he might even outweigh a lot of middleweights if you were to fight him in the morning, he does give up height and reach advantages. And even though he may be heavier, he's not the naturally bigger guy when it comes to a lot of natural middleweights, and I think that's what's going to be the telling factor against him in his career. But again, I think he's top notch. I want him to do really, really well, and with Golovkin, I want him to put on a good performance. But I just think it'll be at the tail end of the fight. I just think Golovkin's size and his brutal punching power is just going to be just too much for Alvarez. I hope I'm wrong, but I think round 10, round 11, the corner might pull him, and it might be TKO, Golovkin to win. Alright, until next time, goodbye.